Picture this. Your alarm goes off at 5 a.m. It's pitch black outside, and the bed feels like it's hugging you back. Your brain's already bargaining, 5 more minutes won't hurt. That's the moment most people lose. Not later in the day, not when the big challenges come, right there before you've even stood up. You've already chosen comfort over growth. We live in a world obsessed with chasing easy, quick fixes, shortcuts, instant results. Everyone's looking for the secret that doesn't require sweat, discomfort, or those gut-wrenching moments where you question why the hell you're even doing this. And you know what? That's why most people stay exactly where they are, stuck, frustrated, pretending they're waiting for the right time, when what they're really doing is hiding from the stuff that sucks. Here's the truth. What sucks is the doorway, the ugly, cold, uninviting door you walk past every day. It's the freezing morning runs, the awkward conversations, the hours of grinding on something you're bad at, the rejection, the embarrassment, the failure. Those moments are the iron that forges you. But most people never grab the handle because it's uncomfortable. And comfort is a drug that kills slowly. The people who really win, are the ones who run toward what sucks, not away from it. They don't care if it's fun or convenient or if they're in the mood. They've trained themselves to see the pain, the boredom, the frustration as the exact signal that says this is where the growth is hiding. So ask yourself, what's the thing in your life you keep putting off because it's uncomfortable? That thing that even as I'm talking popped into your head and you're trying to ignore it? Yeah. That's the thing that's keeping you small. And for the next 30 minutes, we're going to rip that excuse out of your hands and burn it to the ground. The things that suck are not random, meaningless obstacles life throws in your path just to mess with you. They are the exact proving grounds where you either break or you get sharper. They are the lab where mental toughness is engineered, where discipline is hammered into your bones, and where real unshakable confidence is built piece by piece. Everyone says they want to be strong, disciplined. Everyone loves the idea of being the kind of person who can handle anything. But almost no one wants to walk through the fire that creates that person. You don't get stronger by avoiding the hard stuff. You don't become disciplined by skipping the things you don't feel like doing. You don't develop confidence by hiding from the situations where you might fail. Every time you back away from discomfort, you reinforce the part of yourself that says, I can't handle this. Every time you choose the easy route, you make it easier to quit the next time. Avoiding what sucks doesn't just keep you from growing. It actively trains weakness into you. Think about the hardest things you've ever done in your life. They probably weren't fun. They probably weren't comfortable. But I bet when you came out the other side, there was a part of you that felt like you'd unlocked something. A deeper gear, a version of yourself that could take more punishment, handle more stress, push a little harder. That's the thing most people miss. Confidence isn't built by sitting around hyping yourself up. It's built by going into the situations that make your stomach twist and your palms sweat and proving to yourself you can survive them. And that's the thing, proving it to yourself is everything. You can read every motivational quote on the planet. You can watch all the hype videos, but until you stack enough experiences where you voluntarily stepped into discomfort and came out stronger, you'll always doubt yourself when it counts. When life blindsides you with real hardship, and it will, there's no fake confidence that can hold up. You either have the receipts from doing hard things, or you crumble.
The tasks that suck are the gym for your mind. Just like lifting heavy weights tears your muscles so they can grow back stronger, doing the hard, boring, painful things tears through your mental comfort zone so it can expand. You run the extra mile when your lungs are burning, not because it's fun, but because it teaches your brain that quitting at the first sign of pain isn't an option. You sit down and grind through the work when you'd rather be scrolling on your phone, not because it's exciting, but because it trains you to act based on commitment, not mood. You have the tough conversation you've been avoiding, not because it's pleasant, but because it teaches you that you can walk through discomfort and survive.
Every one of these moments is a deposit into your mental toughness account. Skip them and your account stays empty. Embrace them, and over time you build a reserve so deep that when something genuinely difficult comes along, you don't panic, you withdraw from the account you've been funding all along. Here's the catch. What sucks for you might not suck for someone else. This isn't about copying someone else's grind. This is about identifying the very specific things that make you uncomfortable and facing them on purpose. If public speaking makes you feel like your heart's going to explode, that's your training ground. If waking up early feels impossible, that's your training ground. If you procrastinate on starting new projects because you're afraid of failing, that's your training ground. The things you avoid are the things that are keeping you weak. Avoiding them is easy. You can distract yourself. You can rationalize. You can convince yourself it's not worth it or that you'll do it later. That's the path most people take. And it leads exactly where you'd expect: mediocrity, a life of what if and I wish I had and maybe next year. But the people who are unshakable, the ones you admire, they live on the opposite path. They've wired themselves to go toward the friction, to lean into the pain, to see discomfort as a compass pointing toward growth. And here's the wild part. When you start doing what sucks, it doesn't always keep sucking. Sure, some things will always be hard, but you'll get better. What used to feel impossible will become manageable. What used to break you will just be another rep, and when that happens, your whole sense of self changes. You stop seeing yourself as someone who hopes they can handle life, and you start seeing yourself as someone who knows they can. That's real confidence, not arrogance, not bravado. Just a quiet certainty that you've been through the fire before, and you'll walk through it again. That's why the path to becoming unstoppable isn't glamorous. It's not sexy Instagram posts or perfectly curated success stories. It's unglamorous repetition of things that are uncomfortable, boring, and hard. It's showing up on the days when you don't feel like it. It's stacking enough victories in the small private moments that no one sees so that in the big public moments you show up like a force of nature. So the next time you feel that resistance, that little voice saying, this is gonna suck, understand that's your signal. That's the indicator you're right where you're supposed to be. That's the door to the version of yourself you've been chasing. And you have a choice. Walk past it like you've done 100 times before. Or grab the handle, walk through, and start stacking those wins. Because every time you choose to do what sucks, you're not just completing a task, you're building the kind of mind that can handle anything. And that's worth more than any comfort you could buy. At the end of the day, life is not about avoiding the storm, it's about becoming the kind of person who can walk straight through it without flinching. The things that suck, the cold mornings, the awkward conversations, the endless repetitions, the failures that sting are not punishments. They are invitations. Every moment you lean into discomfort, you're proving to yourself that you are not controlled by fear, laziness, or doubt. You're showing the world, and more importantly, yourself, that you're built for more than comfort. The truth is, comfort will always be there, waiting for you. But so will regret. One of them makes you soft. The other makes you strong. One of them feels good now. The other makes you proud forever. The choice is yours. So stop running from what sucks. Hunt it. Chase it down. Make it your training partner. Because when you make a habit of doing what sucks, you stop being someone who hopes they can handle life. You become someone who knows they can. And that kind of person, that's the one who wins. Every single time.